At our wedding reception, my mother-in-law took the mic and said, "If this doesn't work out, he can always come home." People chuckled. I laughed too, until I noticed her sneaking off with my purse. I checked my bank app that night. $3,000 missing. She'd used my saved card for a family loan. I reported it immediately, canceled every card, and called the police. When she showed up crying to return it, I said, "Return it to the judge. Your hearing's on Tuesday." I married Evan in September last year. We live in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm 32, he's 35. We'd been together for almost 3 years before we tied the knot. He's a great guy, solid, kind, maybe too kind for his own good. Works in IT for a local insurance company. I work in logistics. Nothing flashy, but we do fine. From the start, his mom, Patricia, didn't like me. I could feel it the moment I shook her hand. She's the type who acts sweet in public, but says nasty things in private and calls it concern. She never said I was trashy, but she didn't have to. She made enough comments about my background and how different our families were. She once told me, "Marriage is more than love. It's about matching lifestyles." I smiled and said, "Good thing we're both broke then." She didn't laugh. She never tried to stop the wedding. Instead, she inserted herself into every part of the planning. She offered to help pay for a few things, flowers, a part of the catering bill. But when we gently said no thanks, she acted insulted. Still, I tried to get along with her. I knew Evan loved her, and I didn't want to make things harder. I thought once we were married, things might settle down. She'd see that I wasn't after his money or trying to take him away. I was wrong. The wedding itself went off almost perfectly. It was held at a small estate in Anchorage, Kentucky. Quiet, old trees, string lights, homemade centerpieces. It was exactly what I'd wanted, intimate and not over the top. We had about 70 guests. Everyone we loved, including a few coworkers and my childhood best friend who flew in from Arizona. During reception, Patricia seemed fine. She wore this dark navy dress with sequins, more like she was going to a gala than her son's wedding, but that's just her. She mingled, gave hugs, smiled for pictures. Everything seemed normal. Until she took the mic. It was just after the first dance. Evan and I were standing there, sweaty and smiling. We were about to go cut the cake when she tapped her glass and asked for everyone's attention. "First off," she said, "this was such a beautiful night. I'm so happy for Evan." She looked at me. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "And for our new addition to the family." People clapped. I smiled. Then she tilted her head and added, "But hey, if this doesn't work out, don't worry. He can always come home." Some people laughed. Some looked confused. A few gave side eyes. Evan sort of chuckled and shook his head. I forced a smile, but I felt it. Something cold ran down my spine. I brushed it off. I didn't want to cause a scene. I thought, let it go. It's just a weird joke. I didn't see her again for the rest of the night. At some point, I figured she just left early or was talking to someone outside. It wasn't until Evan and I got to our hotel suite that I realized something was wrong. I went to get my purse to grab my lipstick before bed, and it wasn't there. At first, I thought I'd left it in the limo, or maybe at the venue. I called the driver, no luck. Texted my maid of honor. She hadn't seen it either. That's when I remembered Patricia had asked me earlier if she could put her coat in the bridal suite for a second, said she didn't want to carry it around. My purse was in there. My heart started racing. I checked my bank app. $3,000. Gone. It had been transferred using one of my saved cards. I stared at the transaction info. A payment labeled Family Loan Emergency Transfer to a personal account under her name. She used my card from the app, through a transfer tool I didn't even know she had access to. I'd let her use my phone once months ago to send herself some wedding pictures. She must have saved the details then. I couldn't breathe. Evan was standing behind me, asking what was wrong. I turned to him and said, "Your mom just stole $3,000 from me. Tonight." He blinked like he didn't understand. I showed him the app, the transaction, the name. His face went pale. "I'll call her," he said. I grabbed his arm.
No.
"I'm calling the bank. Then the cops." I reported the theft that night. The bank froze my accounts and flagged the transaction. I canceled every card tied to that account. I gave a police report the next morning while Evan sat in silence beside me, still in shock. 3 days later, Patricia showed up at our apartment. I wasn't expecting her. She knocked like nothing was wrong. Evan answered, and she pushed past him with red eyes and a folded check. "I didn't think you'd go to the police," she said, crying. "I was going to pay it back." I didn't say anything at first. I took the check, looked at it. Then I looked her straight in the eye and said, "Return it to the judge. Your hearing's on Tuesday." She froze. "I didn't steal it," she said quickly. "It was a loan."
You didn't ask, I said.
"You took it." Evan stood behind me, looking like someone just told him his mom had a double life. She tried to reach for his hand. He stepped back. "I thought we were family," she whispered.
You thought wrong, I said.
That was just the start. Prompt to self. Continue the story. Add conflicts or story twist, keeping the details sharp and the tone dramatic. Use simple words. No ending yet. After she left, Evan didn't say much. He sat at the kitchen table with his head in his hands. I stood at the sink, still shaking. I wasn't sure if I was madder at Patricia or him. "I didn't know she'd do that," he said quietly.
You don't really know her, I said.
"You know the version she lets you see."
He didn't argue.
The police didn't drop the charges, even though she returned the money. I'd already filed the report, and the fraud alert was in motion. The bank confirmed it had been unauthorized. Since the money had been transferred online using saved payment info without consent, it was considered identity theft and financial fraud. Patricia was formally charged with felony theft. Word got out fast. At her job, where she was a regional bank manager, mind you, it didn't take long for her to be put on leave. A week later, Evan got a call from his uncle in Tennessee, yelling at him about how we ruined Patricia's life over a misunderstanding. Another cousin posted something passive-aggressive on Facebook about fake family members who turn on you over money. We stayed quiet. At first. Then I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was someone from Patricia's job. She didn't say who exactly. She asked if I'd be willing to withdraw the complaint. When I said no, she sighed and said, "Well, we hope you understand how much this could affect her career." I hung up, and that's when I got mad all over again. That week, Patricia filed a motion to dismiss the case. Her lawyer claimed it was a miscommunication and that the funds were accessed with implied permission. Our attorney, and yes, by then we'd hired one too, shut that down fast. When we went to the pretrial hearing, Patricia avoided eye contact. She wore a gray pantsuit like she was going to a work meeting. Her lawyer talked like she was the victim of a misunderstanding. After the hearing, she approached us in the hallway. "This doesn't need to get ugly," she said. I looked her in the face. "You made it ugly. You're tearing this family apart." "No," I said. "You did that when you stole from your son's wife on their wedding night." Evan didn't say anything. He just walked away. After that, things got worse. A week after the hearing, someone broke into our apartment. Nothing was smashed. No doors kicked in. But the lock had been tampered with subtly. The only thing missing? My laptop. Not the TV. Not the gaming console. Not even the jewelry box on my dresser.
Just my laptop.
It wasn't brand new, but it had everything: bank info, saved passwords, emails, wedding documents, scanned ID copies. I'd been compiling files for the court case too, screenshots of texts, emails from the bank statements. I felt sick. We called the police again. Filed another report. The landlord checked the front door footage. It was blurry, but a figure in a hooded sweatshirt had come and gone in under 5 minutes. No face. No proof. The detective said it looked like someone knew what they were looking for. I knew who I suspected. I told Evan. He didn't argue. He looked tired. Just said, "Jesus, Mom." That night, I started locking the bedroom door when we went to bed. A few days later, I got a call from the county clerk's office. Someone had called to request copies of our marriage license, my birth certificate, and a name change form. Under my name. They flagged it because the caller couldn't answer security questions. It was all starting to feel connected. I started digging into Patricia's finances. It wasn't hard. Some of her info had been in public databases from her real estate holdings. That's when I found something. A recent second mortgage taken out on a property she co-owned with her sister in Clarksville, Indiana. A loan for $22,000. It had been approved just 3 days before our wedding. I confronted Evan with it. Why would she take out a loan 3 days before our wedding, then steal $3,000 at the reception? He sat on the edge of the bed and said, "She's broke." Turned out, she wasn't just broke. She was drowning. Quietly. Secretly. And that check she brought back to repay me? It bounced a few days later. The court hearing moved forward. That's when the next twist hit. I got a call from Evan's younger brother, Caleb. He'd moved to Chicago years ago and wasn't close with Patricia. He told me something I didn't expect. "Patricia asked me to sign an affidavit saying you gave her permission to use your bank info." What? She wanted me to say I overheard you say she could borrow the money. I was stunned. "Did you?" "Hell no," he said. "I told her to lose my number." I thanked him. Then I hung up and realized she wasn't just trying to get away with theft. She was trying to make me look like a liar. The trial date came in late January. By then, we'd been married 4 months. Patricia hadn't apologized. Not really. Not once. All she'd done was try to make me seem unstable. A liar. A vindictive new wife tearing apart her poor son's life. The courtroom wasn't big. The gallery had maybe 15 people in it. A few of her friends came. Some of Evan's cousins, too. The ones who hadn't spoken to us since the charges were filed. I recognized every fake smile in that room. She took the stand and played the part of a hurt, confused woman.
She cried.
Said I told her she could access emergency funds if the family needed it. Said she didn't realize it would be taken as theft. That she returned it once she saw how upset I was. I didn't cry. I sat straight and answered clearly. I said no, I never gave her permission. I never told anyone she could use my bank info. And I never said she could take $3,000 during my wedding reception without even speaking to me. When it was my turn to speak to the judge, I told them about the bounce check, the break-in, the suspicious calls, the fake affidavit. Evan sat behind me the whole time. Silent. Still. The judge didn't take long. Patricia was found guilty of theft by unlawful taking, over $1,000, a felony in Kentucky. She was sentenced to 6 months in county jail, with 2 years of probation after that. She lost her job the same week. Her bank quietly replaced her and scrubbed her bio off the company website. The moment the judge said guilty, Patricia turned to Evan. Her face crumpled. "You let her do this to me," she said. Evan stared back. "You did this to yourself." She was taken away in cuffs. But it didn't end there. A month later, her attorney filed a civil suit against me for defamation. Said I'd ruined her reputation. That I intentionally caused harm by calling the police instead of handling it in the family. I laughed when I got the notice. We countersued for damages, emotional stress, stolen property, and the cost of replacing my identity documents after the break-in. Our lawyer was ready. But here's where I'll admit my mistake. I'd spent months letting that anger grow inside me. I was so caught up in revenge that I didn't realize what it was doing to Evan. He came to me one night, weeks before the civil hearing, and said, "I think I need to step away." I asked, "From me?" He shook his head.
"From all of this."
He moved in with a friend from work. We didn't speak much after that. I went through the civil trial without him. I won. Patricia lost again. She was ordered to pay me damages and attorney fees. But I didn't feel good. Not after it was all over. I'd wanted justice. I got it. But it cost me my peace. It cost me my marriage. Evan filed for divorce 6 months after he moved out. Said he couldn't watch his mother destroy herself and couldn't stand in the middle anymore. Said he didn't blame me, but he couldn't be part of it either.
So here I am.
I got my money back. I got my name cleared. I got the truth out in the open. But in the end, I lost the man I married, and I can't say I didn't play a part in that. Still, if I had to do it over again, I'd call the cops the same night. Some things aren't misunderstandings. Some things are choices. And Patricia chose to steal from me on the night I became her daughter-in-law. She thought I'd let it slide. She was very, very wrong.